What's going on, everyone? Matthew Osborn here, and in this video I'm going to show you the results of the 14-day eFlip challenge. Alright, welcome back to the conclusion of the 14-day eFlip challenge. The 14-day eFlip challenge, if you're not familiar with it, was something I did 6 months ago, this past July. What I did was 14 days. Every single day I would source using eFlip, doing online arbitrage, buying things from Amazon and selling them back on Amazon. I'd buy them third-party merchant fulfilled for a cheaper price in hopes of selling them on Amazon Prime for a Prime bump and a profit. So what I'm going to do today is break down the books that I purchased from the 14-day challenge and then the results. How many of them have sold? Did I actually make any money? What were the kind of the results of that challenge? So let's just dive right in. As you guys can see on the screen here, you'll see all the metrics and results right away, but I'll walk you through them a little bit. So there were 17 total books purchased during this 14-day period. So most days I only purchased one book. Some days I purchased more than one book. But if you see right here, the total amount I spent was $478.58. So the average cost was $20.15 for each book. Now, for those of you that watch the challenge, you probably know that my philosophy is to not buy a ton of really cheap books, but to find higher quality, higher priced books. So instead of going after the $5 books that I could maybe sell for $20, I'm going after the $30, $40, $50 books that I could sell for $90, $100, $130, $150, etc. For two reasons. One of them, to make a decent amount of profit, you have to buy a ton of $5 books. There's more competition in those lower $5 books. And also there's less margin in those $5 books because they can fluctuate a lot quicker in price than some of the higher priced books that hold their value a little bit better would. So my goal is to find each morning 1 or 2 books that fit my criteria, the 100% return on investment. And if it fit my criteria, I'd buy it and I'd be done for that day. So I think the average amount of time I spent was something like 10 minutes a day, maybe 15 minutes a day for this challenge. So it was not super labor intensive. And part of that is because I was buying higher priced books. So $20.15 was the average I spent on each of these 17 books. Total list price when I listed all of these was $1,542. So the average list price was $90.74 each book. Now this is a really cool metric to look at because I'm about to show you what the sales actually were, and it's really interesting to see how close the sales were to what you actually listed them. So for instance, if every single book sold for $9.74, it would have sold for exactly what I listed it for, meaning I picked amazing books and I priced it really, really well. Normally that's not going to happen exactly like that. Books will go down in price, the market fluctuates. So if you list everything for 90, your average sale price is most likely going to be below 90, but it's how much below will tell you how well you price those books up front. So if we move over here, as you can see in the sales row right here, 16 units have sold for a total of $1,245 in revenue. The average sale price was $77.81. So you can see up here the average list price. I listed the average book at $90, but the average book ended up actually selling for $77.81. Now this goes back to how I structured the challenge originally. I wanted to set a minimum of 100% return on investment was my goal for finding these books, knowing that they're going to drop in price a little bit. So if I set a 100% ROI goal and it sells for less than that, I'm still getting 80%, 70%, 60% return on my investment, versus if I try and buy books with a 20% margin, I'll be able to find a lot more of those books. But if it fluctuates down 10% or 15%, then my margin's 5% on the money I spent, which is not as good of a return on investment. So $77.81 was the average sale price. That's close enough to the $90. I think I priced these fairly well. Granted, some of them dropped in price, but that's still a really good average sale price. You can see all the fees from Amazon right here, $524 shipping. Amazon fees accounted for $245. Cost of goods is up there, so the cost of goods actually sold. So total expenses is $687.14, which leaves us to what you guys probably want to know is the return on investment. So 88% of the inventory turned. I have 2 left in stock, the one that didn't sell and the one that sold but got returned. As you can see, sadly, someone returned a $139 book, but that's back in my inventory right now, so I have 2 left in stock. Profit was $417.88 for an 87% return on investment. That really is amazing. So when you go to a thrift store, if you're used to cherry picking, you're probably used to buying a book for $1, $2, $3, and maybe you'll sell it for $20. With eFlip, the really cool thing is the margins are going to be lower, but it takes a lot less time. It's going to take a little more capital, but it takes a lot less time. It's something you can do in the morning for 5 or 10 minutes versus having to go out somewhere to buy books at another store and take all the time and effort to do that. You can sit in the comfort of your home when it works for you. You don't have to work around the store's hours. You can do it in the middle of the night if you want to. Buy these books. All you need is that capital up front to do it. I invested at $478 and I have made that back in profit right there. Cash flow is $375 is what it's actually made it back because those 2 books haven't sold yet. So either way, 87% return on my investment so far. That's really big for 6 months. Now let's look at when these actually sold, because 6 months is actually a longer picture than it really is. If we look down here, right here, so 16 books were listed in July, the very end of August, or very beginning of August, the 17th book was listed. 9 of these sold that first month after they were listed. Then 5 more sold in September. So right there, we already have almost the majority of our books sold in the first 2 months. So this 87% return on investment is not exactly over 6 months time span. Most of that came in the first 2 months after I listed these. And then this textbook season in January, 2 more of them had sold. Nothing sold in October, November, and December. So that's really, really big that you can invest money and get an 87% return on your investment in 6 months. Even if it did span out over 6 months entirely, that's an amazing ROI compared to an 8% return you could expect in the stock market or a 10% return. 87%, there's very few things you could do that can get that type of return, spending 10 minutes a day for 14 days. So I'm really happy with these results. I really wish that $139 book wouldn't have been returned, but it is what it is. It's back in my stock, so hopefully that book does still sell. And I'm actually pretty confident looking at the 2 books that I had in stock still that those both will sell, and I'll sell 100% of the books that I purchased for this eFlip 14-day challenge. So if eFlip sounds interesting to you, if sourcing books from the comfort of your home, spending 10, 15 minutes a day, and you have some capital you want to invest, check out eFlip at eflip.co, and also check out the 14-day eFlip challenge I did in July, because every single day I made a 4, 5, 6 minute video and I walked you through my thought process, why I purchased some books, why I passed on some books. It's not the only way to do it. It's not even the right way to do it. It's just the way I chose to do it. I'm a little more risk adverse when I invest in eFlip and online arbitrage, and I try and figure out ways to limit the amount of risk I have. And also I don't just invest in textbooks. I try and buy books that'll sell evenly throughout the year. And I walk you guys through how to do that if you want to on that 14-day eFlip challenge. That's all I've got for the 14-day challenge today, but I want to know in the comments below, what videos would you guys like to see? What topics or even other challenges would you guys like me to see do, and then document the process for you guys to follow along with on YouTube? Let me know if something comes to mind in the comments below, and I'll see you next video.